This is an introduction to modelling in 3dsmax, and we're going to look at some simple shapes suitable for a game environment. Now, these are my sample shapes, and if I click on them, you can see that something changes over here. So this is called the stack, and that's our modelling modifier tab. So if I click on this object, you can see that we've got two things in the stack. We've got a box and an edit poly. And over here, if I click on this, we just have this thing called an editable poly. So let's look at making some of these things. So I'm going to go to the front view by pressing F. And then I'm just going to make a little angle by click dragging the screen. And then I'm going to go to here, which is the creation tab, that button. And I'm going to click on box. And I'm just going to drag out a little box like this. So it's click, drag, and then let go. And then release. While it's released, I can just move up and down. And then once more I shall click here, and that creates the box where I want it. I want to make some adjustments to this box, so I'm just going to go over here now into the modifier tab. So that's this button. And I'm going to set the length to 0.2, width to 0.2, and the height to 0.2 as well. And then I'm going to make sure that my length, width, and height segments are dialed down to just 1. So this is a basic box. If I now right click on here, let's do that again. So zoom in. So if I right click on this box, we'll get this dialog, and I want to convert to an editable poly, like that. So now when I click on it, all this stuff appears up here, which is the modelling ribbon. And also we get now this little arrow, that little arrow there. That is our sub-object selection arrow. So now we can go here, and these are all our sub-objects. So we have all the elements which make up a computer graphic shape: vertices, edges, borders, polygons, and elements. And then we can now edit these. So if I click on vertex, I can drag select these vertices here, and you can see they turn red. Let's do that. So these are my little red vertices at the top of the box. And I can click on my select and move tools. So these up here we have our transform tools. And I'm going to choose move. And then with these vertices selected, I can move this up and down like that. So let's give some height to our cross, like that. Now we have various operations which you can do according to the sub-object which we've got selected. So at the moment we're in vertices. If I change to faces, or polygons rather, then I can click on a face and you see it gets selected. If you don't see this red polygon selection, then press F2. So if you have F2, F2 is a toggle, so normally it gives you two options. You have this red, tiny little red border, or the whole polygon selected, and I prefer to have this whole polygon selected because it's much easier to see. So if I select the top polygon now, I can choose one of these operations up here, and I'm going to choose Extrude. So I click on Extrude, and I get this icon when I hover over a face that's selected, so I can click down and drag up. Now it doesn't look like much has happened, but if I press F4 for wireframe, you can see I've now got this line. So this is an extra polygon line. So I can keep doing this, and again. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 polygons here. So 3 sets of polygons. So previously I just had this one set, and now I've created 2 more sets of polygons, 2 more sets of 4 polygons. I can also extrude simultaneously from 2 separate objects, or 2 separate polygons rather. So if I extrude again, now if I, there we go, like that, and that's my cross shape. So I can go on like this. We can go down a bit. I can select all these 4 polygons at the bottom by drag, clicking, and then extrude again. Now you can see I go in a weird direction when I do that, so let's change some of the options in the Extrude tool. So I can change that by clicking on this little down arrow just here. Extrude settings, and then we get this what's called a caddy, and I can change by here local normal, and we get a much more sensible result like that. So let's see what that looks like. Tick there, and again I can do that again. So I can drag select all these polygons here and then out drag to deselect them, and then extrude. Select all these polygons and extrude like that. And that's the base of our cross.